Well, I think it's important though to make a distinction between crypto and blockchain because blockchain is going to impact industries, in my opinion, much differently than crypto payments. Crypto payments depend on it depends on which country we're talking about and how crypto is being defined. If it's being defined as a currency or an asset. The United States, I believe the SEC has recently ruled that they're viewing crypto not as a currency but as an asset. So I think they're afraid of cryptocurrency competing with the U.S. dollar. That's my take on it. But at the same time, we see Bitcoin in the United States used as a medium of exchange for commercial shops. So I see that segment continuing to grow as far as the market share that's going to be happening there. Bill had mentioned earlier about the unbanked, and that's also I think a large opportunity in terms of particularly Africa as far as access to the global payment systems, which is by far less costly and much more efficient if crypto wallets can be used.
Yeah, I agree with what Joe's saying. I mean, you have to differentiate between blockchain and cryptocurrency. I mean, I think blockchain will become fairly ubiquitous. It's just a lot more efficient way. It's a distributed ledger. It's a very efficient way of keeping track of value and it's just a much more efficient way to store information and transmit information.
I think the benefit is similar to what we talked about, where it's going to be, again, a less costly and more efficient way. If they're not part of the banking system, the cost of trying to cash checks or do any kind of business as far as the current conventional banking system, it costs them a lot of money and a lot of time. And I think the same thing that we're talking about as far as some of the benefits to the other countries are applicable as well as to folks in the Western world.
I totally agree with what Joe said. I mean, it's a very costly process. A lot of people are disenfranchised because of it. So if you can come up with an acceptable, regulatorily acceptable KYC process for crypto, I think it's going to tremendously benefit the unbanked.
I think one other thing we want to talk about, and Bill, I'd like to get your perspective on this, is El Salvador. I read an article where I believe the country gave, what was it, like $200 per citizen, or I'm not sure the exact amount, to start understanding how to use the technology, and there was some initial hurdles in terms of trying to adopt that technology, which shouldn't be a surprise because it's we see it the same thing in the United States to the extent that if you ask some simple questions about the technology as far as crypto and blockchain, I saw a recent study: 98% of the U.S. public can't distinguish and answer some of those basic questions. So I think as a global society, we've got to do a lot of education and get people up to speed in terms of what those benefits are. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think that's an essential piece that's going to have to be really emphasized.
Yeah, I think I couldn't agree more with that. I think the other problem is, or another issue in El Salvador, is they had their own wallet as opposed to using commercially already existing wallets. That would have been, if I were to make that choice, I would have just simply had them use already existing commercial wallets to use for the populace. The other issue you have in all these countries and we're having some discussions with, as I said, other countries about this, is how you roll it out is going to have a big effect. If you actually roll out with like Bitcoin, sort of like Gresham's law, you're in a sense you're going to find that people are going to keep the quality assets and spend the less valuable asset. So you have to, if you want it to get full adoption, you almost have to go and make sure you wipe out the existing method and for the new method, because people spend that which they think is going to depreciate in value, and they'll keep that which they think will appreciate. So you'll see fewer transactions as a result.